Hey, I'm Trooper Bob with the South Carolina Highway Patrol. We're here at Patrol Headquarters. We're going to talk to Captain Gil Owens, the commander of the Highway Patrol's motorcycle unit. We have Bike Week coming up, Harley Week, and then Memorial Week, so a lot going on in Myrtle Beach, so we want to cover some important topics. So, Captain Owens, first of all, thank you for taking time out to talk to us today. What's the helmet law in South Carolina?
You know, the helmet law is anybody under the age of 21 must wear their helmet. We highly recommend that everyone wears their helmet, no matter, regardless of your age. However, we can't enforce it if you're over 21. Just speaking from personally circumstance I was in back in 1998, where I was involved in a serious motorcycle collision down at Myrtle Beach during Bike Week. I, to this day, believe had I not had my helmet on, the outcome would have been very different.
And your helmet was something sort of this.
Yep, just like that one, except skin all up today.
Right. Can you just borrow your buddy's motorcycle with a Class D license? Class D, obviously, you'd use that for a car. Can you ride a motorcycle with that license?
No, so you can't. You need to have either a Class M permit or a full driver's license, motorcycle license to operate that motorcycle to be within the guidelines of South Carolina law.
We see a lot of traffic stopped in Bike Week. Can you ride in between the cars while traffic is stopped on a motorcycle or moped?
No, we see that a lot at Myrtle Beach. Unfortunately, you know, the South Carolina law is 56.5, 3640, which says you cannot pass another vehicle within the same lane. So to answer your question, no, you need to stay in your lane of travel.
Sure. If someone's thinking about purchasing a motorcycle for Bike Week or just a ride, do you recommend they receive some kind of training?
Absolutely. You know, we don't allow our guys on the road without some extensive training. But for civilians, I would recommend MSF, Motorcycle Safety Foundations, which is taught at most of your local colleges, some of your Harley-Davidson dealerships, as well as some other motorcycle dealerships around the state, and to get the basic motorcycle training.
We see a lot of people getting these large bikes that are 1,000 cc's or more. Do you recommend they start off on a smaller bike for first-timers?
Yeah, highly recommended. Some of these larger bikes are so powerful, so fast. They don't really realize what they're getting into when they get on these powerful motorcycles, so we would recommend a smaller version, 500, 250 cc bike until they get progress and do better, get more training with these motorcycles before they move up.
Can you go over some of the safety gear that riders should consider?
Yeah, going back to the helmet, like we talked about earlier, again, you know, the law is anybody under 21 must wear it. That's one of the biggest safety equipment that I would recommend is your helmet, but also some type of over-the-ankle boots to protect your ankles. We all wear gloves when we ride as well, and maybe a protective jacket that has some protective gear in it, of course long pants, and some type of safety glasses or sunglasses.
You've been riding bikes for over 20 years. We know your unit still goes through annual training, and even though they've been riding for decades, and they have to pass that training, correct?
That's correct. We train twice a year. We train in the spring and in the fall, and it is mandatory training as well as mandatory that they must pass this training. It's very detailed training. We do a lot of, most people think we do a lot of high-speed training, and we do in curve negotiation, but we also do a lot of low-speed training, which helps us out for Bike Weeks coming up when it's very congested. It helps us out with the football games and a lot of other details we do, but we highly recommend training because we do it as well.
What's your recommendation on braking? We hear that you should use the front brake more than back or vice versa.
Yeah, big misconception there. We all heard don't touch the front brakes, throw you over the handlebars growing up. A little bit of a lie to that. You know, with the bikes, we recommend 70-30, 70 front brake, 30 rear brake is kind of to be consistent, depending on the road surface, but that's primary what we go with. However, a lot of the newer bikes, and like the bikes we currently ride, the BMW R1200 RTP, has an anti-lock brake system, so it does a lot of the thinking for you, and that allows us to put a lot of pressure on the front brake as well as the rear brake.
We know your unit rides together, they're used to riding together, they train like that, but we see other riders coming to Myrtle Beach that have never even ridden a motorcycle or ridden with anyone else. Can you talk about some of the dangers there?
Yeah, with the Highway Patrol we do ride in formation a lot or side by side a lot. We also, depending on where we're at, the roads, the curves, whether we change from side by side to offset or single file. But if you hadn't been riding with somebody or only been doing it for a limited amount of time, especially if you don't know them that well, we would highly recommend what we call the staggered position, where you have one motorcycle here and one to the side of it back. That gives you room for error, it gives you more braking room, and it allows you to just be safe because you don't know the person you're riding beside that well and how well they can ride and what type of training they might have received.
Sure. The new bikes the patrol has, the new BMWs, we know they're water cooled. Some of the bikes you see at Bike Week are air cooled. What are some of the things that air cooled riders face?
Yeah, they seem to overheat a lot quicker than the water cooled. I know being that the traffic is so heavily congested down there during bike week, people are sitting in traffic so their bikes overheat, which causes in turn a lot of people to want to split traffic, which we talked about earlier, the unlawful passing, which is illegal. You know, people opening their doors, or you come by and you don't realize the car's fixing to make a maneuver, and it just causes a problem with collisions down there. So we just ask you to pull off, let them cool down, or look for alternate routes that may be not as congested to get where you're going.
Any last words of advice for people that are headed out to Bike Week?
Bike Week's a lot of fun. Been there several times personally, been there a lot professionally. It's a good time, we enjoy it. Just be careful. It's a nice time to show off your bikes and to get away, but most importantly, be safe. We do recommend you wear your helmet, and of course, just like cars, no drinking and driving, but have a great time.
You heard it right here from Captain Gil Owens. Thank you for taking time out with us, and if you're in a car, always please buckle up. Don't be ejected from life. Thank you for watching.